Joey Reason, Pickle Food Shop. Get yourself a pickle. Get yourself a boot. Joey Reason, Pickle Food Shop. Pickle time is happening.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Sorry. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Pickle and Boot Shop Diabolical Brainwashing Machine Patronizer Edition. I'll be your host today, Joe Yerke.
and I'll be Reese Roper. Denver.
Did you see this?
No, what is it? Oh, that artwork?
1970s Broncos poster.
Oh, wow.
They didn't even put the guy's number because they were ashamed. They're like, I don't know.
They were
Hey.
like, who's 26? Will we have to pay NIL money to this guy? Forget it.
Well, then just put this guy riding a horse.
Yeah.
And
And
then
they're like,
that
make sure the receiver's a white guy.
generic white guy catching a ball.
We're gonna have a white cowboy on a steed, and then we're gonna have a white Bronco player catching a ball, which has never happened.
And Ed McCaffrey.
Oh, that's right.
There's one white Bronco player that caught a ball.
That's right, Ed McCaffrey.
Really?
Speaking of Ed McCaffrey, I thought this week it was very funny that Todd Grassman,
Grassman. Grassman.
the Grassman, Todd,
Todd.
did a video where he went to Council
Grassman.
Bluff, Iowa, and he went to the casino, the infamous casino.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Where you
That-
got Rhea?
yeah, he went. Now, here's the thing. He made the video and he posted
What
of
is the name of the casino?
I think now it's called
Harris.
Yeah, but back when we went, it was called Harvey's.
Yeah, okay.
Harvey's Ultimate Casino.
Harvey's Ultimate Wallbanger.
Yeah. And so he went and he was in the lot where the casino, is there, but he didn't know where I actually jumped the fence to go poop. And so I took an overhead satellite photo and I showed him the green that I believe.
Oh, yeah. Gonna upload this.
Yeah. So I circled the green that I believe I pooped on. So I ran to the tour bus. I shouted in there, the emergency toilet paper. And in a blind panic, I just ran, jumped a wooden fence, slid down.
Well,
like
it's
an-
wooden. In
Yeah,
my
it was-
head, I thought it was like a chain link fence. We thought
No.
you were just like,
No.
but holding your legs together, just scaling it. with
No,
arm.
it was like a picket. Well, not a picket fence. It was like where there would be a post, and then in 10 feet another post.
Oh,
And
okay.
then horizontally, there were just two boards, like two
All right.
parallel boards. So it was like that, and you can see it in the video. And
Were you holding your legs together?
I was trying, and then I went down the embankment and pooped, wiped, then had to go again, pooped and wiped, and that's when the fear, the panic, the anxiety had been flushed out of my colon, and I took a minute to look around, and I realized I was on a golf course
Right
And-
in the middle of the LPGA tour.
right in the middle of it. And so in my head, I was like, I pooped on a green. I was on a green that I pooped on. And over time, I've been like, no, maybe my brain was just thinking that up. I think I pooped on the fairway. And then when I looked at the overhead, there is a green there. There is a green that I pooped on. And that next morning, golfers were chipping up onto that green. And there were two human dukes with toilet paper on the green.
I like part of the story was you're like, and then I wiped it, and then I just put it right in the middle like a birthday cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rhea,
So Todd said that he was going to do a second video, a follow-up, if you will, a number 2 video where he goes to the green.
But does he live there or he's just on vacation? He wanted to go to...
I don't know. I don't know where he lives.
Todd, if you need help with the diarrhea, go and get the buffet because it's all you can eat shrimp. And all you can eat is somewhere around 62. And then you're going to start to smell weird things and see colors because you're getting mercury poisoning.
Yeah,
like the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, absolutely. And then all that iodine is just like, it hits you at once. Like it doesn't trickle. You just eat it and you're like me and you did. Because when we went, you went with us. We were like, hey, we're stopping here. And you're like, okay, we'll stop too.
You guys hyped it up for days, though.
Yes.
You were just like, hello, fellas. Would you like to go to this place we also go to?
That
you
we
were like,
frequent and eat food in normal portions.
Like, no, it's all you can eat. Come on.
Yeah, and you guys were like, we're in. And so maybe my brain...
It was like $6.99. All you could eat.
It was $8.42.
Yeah, and you could say that none of us had any money to gamble, but we gambled with all the money we had.
With our lives.
$8.99 or whatever.
Prime rib. Pasta made your way. You tell them what you want in the sauce. If you want a red sauce, white sauce, palomino sauce, all you can eat shrimp. And I remember you and I, and this might be wrong, but I thought you and I had a contest who could eat more shrimp.
Yes, we did.
So
yes, we did.
I remember, and the shrimp, ladies and gentlemen, weren't shrimp. They were prawns about the size of Andre the Giant's thumb.
They were like this.
Yeah. They were like as big around as a quarter, and then like as big, as long as your thumb, or as long as my thumb. And so I think I put down, I think over the years, my story has changed a little, but I think I put down somewhere between 8 and 12. And now, mind you, this is eating other things too. Pizza, prime rib, pork chops, New York strip steaks. And then had that violent bout of diarrhea. Violent. Yeah. Violent. You're turning violent. So, but Todd did that.
God bless him.
Yeah. American hero. Went to the battlefield where it happened and shot video of it. Couldn't ask for more. What a great man he is. Todd, thank you very much. Reese will send you something in the mail.
I'm going to send him this care package I'm assembling for you. It's got the 7 nips of the apocalypse.
Oh, and the 3X Suicide Machines shirt.
Yeah. Now, so the conversation that Joe and I had, I was like, Art, what size do you wear? And he goes, 2X. And they didn't have 2X. They had 3X or 1X. And he was like, I was like, just get 1X and stop being so fat.
Yeah. Which just boosted the confidence through the air, which then made me shame eat and gain 2 more pounds. Oh, yeah, I remember that 5-iron shirt.
They got a 3X coming your way.
Dear Lord.
You're getting married, dude. You're going to put on some pounds.
I had that shirt. And my daughters stole it. And so my daughter wore that shirt to school for years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, now you have your own, and it's going to be your size.
Now, I have an update on book reading. I have started The Stand.
Have you?
I have. I will say this, I'm not reading it, I'm listening to it. And the narrator that is reading it, I do not like his voice.
Oh, no. That makes or breaks
it does.
Audiobook.
It really does. The books that I've been listening to, so the first audiobook I ever listened to, besides the Star Wars books growing up where you play the record and it reads it to you and then it goes, what R2-D2 says, turn the page. So
Yep.
besides that, the first audio book I ever listened to was Project Hail Mary. And
That's the first one?
Yeah, the first audio
Oh,
book
man.
I've ever listened to.
Everything else after that is going to suck. That
Yeah.
is such a good one.
Exactly. So little did I know that the guy who read that is like the greatest audiobook narrator in the history of the world.
Yeah.
That's what I had to start with. So every book I've listened to since, it's gotten like a little bit worse. And then The Stand is not, you know who it sounds like is reading it? It's from the picture in my mind, from the sound of his voice, and that what makes me think in my head, you know the actor who is the dad in the movie Hot Rod?
Yeah.
He's the guy from Deadwood. He sounds like that guy.
It's not Rip Torn. I
No.
know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like that guy. I don't think it is, but it sounds like that guy. I guess I could probably look it up and see who narrates the audiobook.
The air compressor just kicked on.
Oh.
Forgot to turn it off. Doing the flooring, guys. I'm doing the flooring.
Yeah. So anyway, short story long. Don't like the narrator because he doesn't like. When I listen to Project Hail Mary,
I love you.
I love you too, man. But when I listened to Project Hail Mary, he did different voices for all the characters, and it drove me nuts at first. But then I liked it.
Yeah.
I listened to other books, and people did the same thing, and I got used to it. This guy, it's just like you're reading the book. He doesn't really do voices for other people. Like the voice he does for like females is basically a male voice. So I don't know. I'm getting.
I
to
wonder
it.
if there's a different version.
I don't know. I'm in chapter 5. I like it. I like the book. It's just the narrator.
Or read it. It's worth
I don't
reading.
think I can. I don't think I
forgot
can.
how to read.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah. So that's the update on that. Is you told me to read The Stand, so I am.
So for good voices, you should listen to the whole Harry Potter series. The guy his name's Jim. Jim something. You know him, Jim.
Jim.
Jim Jimerson.
Jim Varney.
Jim Varney reads them.
He's like, well, Vern, Harry Potter would have had. How you doing, Vern?
As a Dumbledore came out.
I don't think I'll ever
those are all
listen
really good.
or read the Harry Potter books.
Well, the guy does amazing voices, and it's good.
I didn't mind the movies, but I am not a fantasy guy. I don't do wizards and all that stuff. I have like an aversion to it.
Also good, Ready Player One and Ready Player Two are good.
What are those about? Because isn't the movie about video games?
Yeah, the movie is not the best. I think it would be hard to adapt it. Yeah, the movies are okay, but the book is really good, and the second one's really good too.
Okay. The book I did read was Gwendolyn's, another Stephen King book. Because I'm in a rabbit hole with Stephen King. I read Gwendolyn's like button box, and then I realized it was a trilogy. But I didn't. So I read Gwendolyn's button box, and then I got what I thought was the next one in the series, but it wasn't. I got the third one, and so I guess there's one in between. So tomorrow I got to go back to the library, drop off the one I got, and get the other one, which is called like Gwendolyn's Magic Feather, something like that. But that was a good book too. The first one was a real quick read, and it was good. I would recommend that.
Gwendolyn's Magic Box and Feather. Button box.
Gwendolyn's button box.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was really good. And then it's Gwendolyn's Magic Feather, and then it's like Gwendolyn's Return to the Button Box or something like that is the third.
Okay.
But yeah, so I kind of find it weird that I'm reading so much. I'm I really, the only time my TV is on is like on weekends if I have some sports related. Usually at night I'm doing Sudoku and Heidi's reading, and then I'm reading. So
It's riveting, Grandpa.
Yeah, my life has done like a 180. Yeah, it's crazy.
I've been listening to this is dumb. I've been listening to like stuff about like CIA experiments or like projects into parapsychology, into like astral plane
psychology, like why do they gravitate towards pirates?
Yeah, what is the deal?
What is it with the pirate's shoulder?
How are they missing all these legs and eyes? Why? What
it
is
might
it
be
do
the
with
parrot.
It might be
Parrot psychology.
No, but then I listened. It was like all this CIA stuff that they did to try and figure out like if they could do this thing, which they called remote viewing, which is basically witchcraft. It's basically like they had a lady that she'd be like, they didn't like her because they'd be like, she is a real witch. And she would be like, she'd go into this trance and look for clues with her third eye and like go in the astral plane and do all this weird stuff. But it's these people trying to make
fiction.
This
is a fiction book that you're reading.
No. It is like people who have done FOIA requests and written a book to try and piece together how much the CIA did. You know, like there's this well-known thing called MK Ultra was a CIA program where they invented LSD and they tried to figure out if they could get people to like if they could have powers, but like they could do telekinesis if they gave them the right drugs and
telekinesis, stuff. Kyle.
Yeah.
Mind bullets.
Kyle.
Shoot a yak at 20 yards with mind bullets. Light reading. So basically what you're telling me is you're doing some light reading.
Well, so I listened to it, and then I listened to the podcast version of The Daily Show because I love Jon Stewart. I think he's super smart, and I love what he has to say. So he's back on Mondays. And then there's other dudes that host it, but like this guy, what is this guy's name? Anyway, he was on last week. He had a guy who used to work for like government intelligence, like for the CIA and the Department of Defense. And what this guy said on the show blew my mind. He was just like, and I granted, so I need to take this with a grain of salt. Like maybe this guy just wants to get a book out there and he wants to be famous. So he's leveraging his position in the government to make this and write a book and make money and get on TV.
Okay.
But like the book he wrote is called Imminent. So I'm listening to it. This guy claims to have been one of these remote viewers, and he was part of this CIA program and it was like Department of the Army, Department of Defense, where they were trying to train people to do like what psychics do, where you can be like, okay, Timmy's in the well. I'm getting a strong picture of this. So they would like study what they did, how to get into a trance. There's all this research into listening to like binaural beats, where if you have like two different frequencies playing, it's easier to meditate, or these people believe it is easier to push your soul out, like to go into an astral plane and be able to see things. So he claims to have been one of these people. But he also he was in this government, like Department of Defense program, where they're trying to catalog and research like all these reports of unmanned area or like non-human aerial contact with
Areola contact.
areola contact.
Non-military areola contact. What? I want to
I'm
read this
signing
book.
up. I'm signing up for that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in the military, and you get in contact with. I'm in. What do they call? It's like it's not called UFOs anymore. It's like UAEs, unidentified aerial something. They have new acronyms.
They have
Or-
nude
nude.
acronyms.
Yes, but like this dude scared the shit out of me on the Daily Show podcast because he's like, it's not a podcast; they just broadcast the show, but it's just you can listen to it at work because I don't have cable.
Okay.
But like,
oh, I see what you're saying there.
right?
Like it's the audio from the show.
Yes,
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
scared the shit out of me because he's like, basically the only reason it's not public knowledge that there are aliens is that every government is trying to suppress it because they want to be able to reverse engineer the technology. So there's been enough like crashes of these people or evidence, like he said, Roswell really happened, that we try to reverse engineer that stuff. We're trying to figure it out and we're not talking about it. We suppress it in the population. The governments do that by saying, just reporting that it's like, you're crazy if you think this, and this is this, and it had to be like a weather balloon, or it was this. And they have like a huge program, which is well documented, where they suppress these reports. And then because they're trying to get a leg up on the other countries like China and Russia, because they don't want them to outdo us in this.
But do you believe that?
I don't know, man.
See,
it's a convincing argument.
Here's my thing. I always think it takes so many people. Like it takes so many people to keep a secret like that.
Yeah.
That I don't buy it. I don't buy that there's regular everyday people, the people that clean that place, that clean that facility, the janitorial staff that cleans it, the secretaries, all the way up to the people who are not in lab coats and are in suits and are telling the lab coat people what to do. Like these people have to
somebody's going to talk.
You know what I mean? These people have to go home. They have to be normal people.
But I think people, I think that like it is like a common thing. If your neighbor said, dude, I saw a UFO, you'd be like, you're a quack, you're kooky immediately. So usually if you see a UFO or you see something that's out of the ordinary, you don't talk to anybody about it. Like that's part of our culture. You're not going to say, bro, I saw a ghost yesterday to everybody at work. You might to your friend be like,
yeah, I get what you're saying there, but when you
got to tell you this
next
crazy
level,
story.
right? I understand what you're saying there,
And
but
that
when you
guy's
go
only
that
gonna
next
pull it out.
level, There's,
Uh-huh.
a tool and die shop. Let's just say a nice sized tool and die shop has 30 employees. We're talking about a government facility like Roswell, where there's guards, there's janitors, there's all this stuff. Are you telling me? So that's where my brain separates and says, all these people, they got to go home somewhere.
Yeah.
They got to go home. They have family. They have friends. They talk to people. There's always going to be somebody like forgive me if I'm getting this mixed up, but like what was the guy's name? Snowden.
Yeah.
I would think there would be somebody who would be taking video that would be trying to get this out there, that the reason they're working in this area of the government is to get these secrets out. Then to go even a step further, if it's the United States, Russia, and China, I would think that like if Germany, like Germany, Great Britain, France, somebody else who is up there with, in the UN would be like, well, we don't have that information, but through spy networks, hackers. We know that they have, you know what I mean? Like, I would think they would blow the top up. Like if Germany was like, we know Russia and United States are reverse engineering this stuff. We've seen it. We've done it. They would be blowing the top off things like that. That's where I think that like this, that's where it loses me.
Okay, I agree with that. But here's the argument that this guy makes. And this is what's convincing is that like it didn't, like there were scattered instances possibly throughout history of UFOs appearing. There's some weird things like Aztec drawings of what look like the regular like giant headed aliens with the big black eyes. And there's like a couple instances where you could be like, oh, aliens have always been here. You know, like if that's your thing and you're way into aliens, you'll kind of be like, you're just looking for something to back up your theory already. So you can easily say that's not, you know, like that's not believable. But what this guy says is that like these phenomena started, and it's mostly pilots who see it, or people in the military, because he thinks that whatever these beings are, if they're real, are very interested in our military capabilities and very interested in our nuclear capabilities. So as soon as we started the nuclear age, as soon as we did atomic bombs, which was near Roswell, they started showing up. He thinks that what happened at Roswell is it sent out like an electromagnetic pulse, like because that's what nuclear weapons do, and it disabled that craft, and it crashed. So then they did all the stuff that you hear about on the wacky shows, like there was 4 aliens and there was an autopsy, and then they covered it up. The farmers that were there, they threatened that they'd kill them. Everybody else in the room, they were just like, if this ever breaks out, we're going to know who did it, and you're just going to disappear. And then, plus, who's going to believe you? So then they covered it up. They said it was a weather balloon. They went out to the site after they had cleared it up. They put a bunch of metal pieces and cans and stuff. So when people got out there with metal detectors and tried to find stuff for the next 50 or 60 years, they just find old cans and junk, trash, which is documented. Like there's people that reported saying, like in FOIA stuff, that saying they were out there scattering metal cans and stuff for the government, like to keep people from snooping around there. So if that's true, and this is all happening, he doesn't think that they've reverse engineered anything. Like the capabilities are way above what we can do. But like in like the last 10 years, it has gotten to this point publicly, like where politicians are, instead of suppressing it, like our Congress people and senators are like pushing it to the forefront. Like, you guys got to stop hiding this information. We want to have a hearing about it and talk about it. And basically, I don't know if you missed this, like Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, he kind of put all his money into this, and they started this campaign to get the government to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm an investor. I'm an investor in To the Stars. To the Stars
They started
Academy.
talking about it. Like, if they're the government, like our United States government is not just, they're not denying it anymore. They're like, okay, we agree that this is. There are craft that...
Correct. I agree with you. There's craft. We've seen videos from fighter jets and stuff like that, military jets that have seen stuff that they can't figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you that there is that kind of weird stuff out there in those unidentified flying areolas or whatever you called it.
Uh-huh.
But like the other stuff, like we have an alien, we have this whatever.
Yeah.
I like that is where so here's something that people that listen to the show might grasp onto. My brother gave me this example the other day, and I think this is a perfect show that shows that because of the way me and you think. And my brother Ryan was saying that like there's people in life that see things as buckets. And so like for instance on this show, when we talk about Christianity, when you talk about Christianity, you have like a Christianity bucket, and Republicans go in that Christianity bucket, and guns go in that Christianity bucket, and different things like that go in that bucket. And in your mind, those things go in that bucket, and that's the only bucket that it can go. Like you can't divvy those up into other buckets. Or reverse that. Say there's a Republican and a Democrat bucket, and in the Republican goes Christianity and like all that stuff. So you see what I'm saying? This is one of those situations that I feel like that it's not necessarily an all or nothing. Like if I believe that there's like weird crafts out there, unexplainable crafts that have been seen or things like that, I agree with that those could be out there. But a point of me stops believing when you have to get a gajillion people in on something. So a pilot who records something that's unexplained, I can believe that. But to have like an aircraft that crashed, and it's not like it happened last year, right? So we're talking
the 40s.
Yeah, so we're talking, let's just say at minimum, there's 40 employees at Roswell over decades. People are going to retire. You're going to hire in new people. There's different presidents. There's different secretaries, Secretary of Defense, DOJ, Colin Powell. Let's take Trump. If Trump is made aware, and I would think as president, he's made aware of everything.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Trump, as boisterous, braggadocious, loudmouth as he was, why wouldn't he come out and go like, guess what, everybody? There are aliens. We have them. We have this. We have that.
But
you know what I mean? Like there's just so many people that would have to buy in.
I agree, but like how compartmentalized is it? Like I feel like the Department of Defense treats the president as like a temporary employee.
Well, we all do.
Right. But the president could be like, hey, I want a full briefing on this, and they would get it. Like I think Jimmy Carter did. Like Jimmy Carter, before he became president, he was like, I'm gonna get into office. I'm gonna tell everybody the truth about aliens, because he believed in them. He saw one.
So
he thought he saw flying.
Fact checked it. We got to fact check this stuff.
He thought he saw a flying saucer. Said, I'm gonna figure it out. This is one of my campaign promises. He became president. A couple weeks later, he said, "There's no aliens."
Yeah.
So does that mean there are no aliens, or does that mean that Jimmy Carter knew or knows? Because he's still with us, God bless him.
Yeah.
And he was like, we need to keep this quiet.
Right. And I guess we could just keep going around and around in circles, but that's where I hit that threshold that like, at this point, it's not believable. Like I can go with the pilot that saw this and all that stuff. But when it comes to the point that everyday people that can make money off of what they've known, like, hey, this is where I work for from 1960 to 1985. I retired in 85. The government has no more whatever. I retired to Montana.
Yeah.
I live out in a shack, and this is what I saw.
Those guys.
What's that?
No, I agree with you. I think those guys do talk about it. They're like, I saw this happen above my shed, or this when I was at the airport. I saw this. Those guys do talk. Not a lot, because I think half of us are afraid of like the stigma of looking like a kook. More than half. But I think there are plenty of like anecdotal stories of
time
people.
Out real quick. My dog is. I think my dog's about to take it down. What's that? Did it? Oh no, he's tired.
Oh no, he has already taken one.
he was at the door crying. And I'm like, oh crap, he's about to pee or take a dump on the front door. But Heidi just got home, so he saw her out there. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I interrupted you there.
No, I do think like anecdotal stories come out, but like the whole picture, like a very good, like a very good reporter could comb through all of the internet and like find out like and try and vet different stories and be like, it looks like there's a pattern, or it seems like enough people saw this one thing in this area, or this happened and this confirms something happened. That's happening now. I feel like people like Tom DeLonge have like seen like they're like enough of this. There is enough anecdotal stories that there's like evidence to say something is out there. So then this dude, this is why I'm scared. He's saying, yeah, you're correct. Like he quit the Department of Defense. He was a G15, like as high as you can go in the government as like a non-elected official. And after doing it for all those years, he's like, I can't get behind this anymore, that we're not telling people. We're not being honest with the American people. It's not democratic. And he thinks that if we're open about it, that other countries should also be open, and we need to talk about this happening, that there are these spacecraft and they're doing things and we're not ready for it.
But like, so at any point, are you going to trust in the vetting process? Or if person after person after person comes out and says, there's a bunch of these anomalies, or what'd you call them? Anecdotal things.
Stories.
Yeah. And so there's enough of them, and we've looked into them, and there's nothing. There's nothing. We can't pinpoint anything.
Sure.
Would you believe that, or would you say, no, we got to keep... No. It's like flat earthers, right?
I didn't believe this until like this week. And I'm still, I don't want to, but I'm also like, this is a very compelling thing. I don't want it. I feel like he's making a very solid point. There is a lot of evidence that there's something going on.
I agree with that. Period. I agree with that. And again, just to beat the dead horse, where my brain changes, you said he was a G15, So if he's G15, there's 100 other G15s, and there's 100 other G15s every decade that worked there. And then there was 100 G14s. Then there were 100 G13s. And I would just think there would be enough people that like, it wouldn't be on these like secretive podcasts. It wouldn't be done on these, that at this point in 2024, where everything is pretty much out in the open, I would think that it would be like, hey, here's 400 people that worked for the government that were between G8 or G1, like they cleaned the toilets in these facilities where these aliens were, up to G15. We have 400 people willing to sit down, talk about emails that were sent out, this.
Yeah, but like, here's the argument for that this guy makes. Okay. Like, to become G15, you have complete government clearance. You don't get that by accident. Like, you don't stumble into that. They've vetted you back like to the Civil War to see, like if your parents were traitors, or if you cheated on your history test, all this stuff. Like, you have been completely looked over by, you've done polygraphs, you've done all this stuff. You've sworn so many oaths to secrecy to get to that government security clearance that you pretty much are not going to be a spy, or you're not going to tell all this stuff, right? So going down that chain, like you get to like G8, those guys might, but they've also sworn oaths.
Yeah, but
And
the,
our government is designed to keep everything compartmentalized
right, but here's just
for
a little
that reason,
curveball.
so that we don't share secrets.
But the person that is saying this is also the person who himself is breaking that vetted system.
Yeah.
So
Except,
the very person who's telling you about how the vetting process goes is the one who's going against that and breaking.
yeah, but he didn't break it. He was like, "Look, I'm not gonna break my oath. I'm not gonna tell you anything that's classified." And then he ran it. It had to go through government censorship, his book, before he put it out. So everything that he says is either speculation or it's FOIA stuff that you can get. Anyone can get that information.
Yeah.
Like anyone can be like, okay, there's been these many people that said this about Roswell, that they saw 4 aliens, that they scattered cans, that they did all this stuff, that they saw a downed spacecraft, that there was markings on it. You know, all that stuff is public knowledge. There's been enough
Now-
people that have come out.
now, just
so
so you
he's
guys
just
know-
confirming it.
And just so you guys know, and listeners, here's the thing. When you hear the word FOIA, you're not getting all the information. So you can FOIA request a document, and there can still be tons of stuff that's redacted. So names, phone numbers, addresses, dates, times, all of that can be redacted. Doesn't have to be shown. So there
And
is a lot.
also,
Yeah.
any document, like they can make it FOIA exempt starting like as soon as it's made. They can just be like, this is never gonna, no
Yeah,
one's
as
ever
long
gonna
as
see
it's like
this.
classified as it has a certain classification. So what's this? This is the Daily Show. You said this is what podcast
the guy,
is this?
it was the Daily Show, and the book is called Imminent.
Okay, so people can listen. People can comment. I'll listen. I'll throw that sucker on. Like I said, I'm a Tom DeLonge fan.
Guy's name is Luis Elizondo.
Okay. All right, so give it a listen. Hopefully, you guys, we're at about the 40-minute mark, 42 minutes. I hear the Hides downstairs yapping. I haven't seen her all
Hey,
day.
Bill, you
So
better go
and
see
I
her.
know Kara is there with you. So let's bring this to an end.
Piece of pizza, everybody. Thanks for listening.
See y'all.
Yeah.
Save for the squids.